It's an honor and privilege at this moment for me and my senior colleague Pallav Bagla to in fact have a conversation with an icon. She's just won the NDTV Science Icon joint winner with group captain Shubhanshu Shukla. But the honor, in fact, is of NDTV awarding her because she has been the lady instrumental in an engineering marvel. Of course, as Pallav sir was saying, connecting Kashmir to Kanyakumari, something that not just everybody in India is talking about, but the entire world, in fact, is amazed at this engineering feat that India has achieved. Let me introduce at this moment, and as I said, it's my honor, absolute honor, Madhavi Lata. Ma'am, thank you so much for speaking to NDTV. For those who are still a little unversed, who don't know, let me tell you that the Chenab Bridge that you keep talking about, and all of us with pride have seen those pictures, have seen the train going across that bridge. She actually, I must say, is the foundation behind that, isn't
Absolutely.
it, Pallav sir?
The Vande Bharat travels on it because of Professor Madhavi.
No.
Professor Madhavi, I was thinking about this, and I want to start by asking you, this has been a feat which has been achieved in very extreme conditions. The geographical conditions, temperature, everything has been of the very extreme nature, 17-year-long project. And for you to lead that in a way, in a male-dominated industry, I must say, what were the challenges, obstacles, for you?
Thank you. Thanks for these questions. First of all, I want to correct you both. I was a part of this big, iconic national project, but I wouldn't call myself as the foundation or instrumental for this bridge because this is the vision of Indian Railways. And I was one of the technical contributors to the bridge. I'm very proud of my contributions to the bridge. At the same time, I don't want to carry the guilt of carrying someone's fame with me because I am one of the many. And whatever I did with conviction, I did with commitment, and that is the reason I'm in the news. But this glory belongs to Indian Railways and the construction companies and every engineer who worked. I worked with great minds of our country, so I don't want to steal their glory. This is for everyone, all of us. This is a moment of celebration for India, and we were a part of this big national project.
What a humble person you are. How difficult was it to make the tallest railway bridge of the arch kind, higher than the Eiffel Tower, in such fragile Himalayas?
Extremely difficult because I was there from the beginning till end. I have seen how this bridge is unfolding on those very complex geological conditions, extreme climatic conditions, and more than that, we are also expecting the high seismicity in that region, and we are talking about a height of 359 meters, where wind is at a very speed, and when it is blowing at 220 kilometers per hour. So these are big challenges, and more challenges when we started the project is when we went forward, we found a lot of surprises. To our surprise, the geological conditions were continuously evolving. What we found on the surface is totally different from what we found when we went deeper after the excavation. So this is where the Indian Railways has the vision of design as you go approach, because we cannot follow a probabilistic method, which can be one of the solutions. Some of the countries follow that, but our codes are not well developed to adopt probabilistic analysis yet. So we had only this option that we go with what we have in our hand, and as we go inside, we evolve and we follow the geological conditions and redesign everything in real time.
Now, see, we face earthquakes in Himalayas. It's sitting on the main thrust fault. Earthquakes of 8 magnitude are expected. Can you place your hand on your heart and tell us that the Chenab Bridge will survive an 8 magnitude earthquake, and that area has not broken an earthquake in last 500 years?
That's a very difficult question because every civil engineering structure is subjected to natural calamities and hazards. And if we follow the design exactly, and if the construction quality is up to what we design on the paper, 100% the bridge should withstand an earthquake magnitude of 8. But the
Wonderful.
construction and the safety is the responsibility of Indian Railways.
Can I just ask one, because these are very extreme, conditions that we are talking about, as, Pallav and you both, in fact, just explained to our viewers. It's a very long project, 17 years. Were there ever moments of doubts? Was there, any moment when you thought, maybe it's an endeavor that is not possible, a feat which may not be achieved? And if there were, how did you overcome those doubts?
Yes. So there were moments where there were doubts not in the technical people, but in the government itself, because there were some objections raised by some people in the country that this is a very difficult terrain and we will not be able to build a bridge here. So the project was stopped for some time. And those were the moments where all of us felt that we started something. And if we stop now, what message we are giving to our country, and what will our kids and undergraduate kids know about this bridge and think that they started and India couldn't do this. So all technical people and the railways were very strongly supporting the construction and continuing with the construction of the bridge. But there were some problems due to which the bridge was stopped, the construction was stopped. But later, there were again changes in the political scenarios, and the government wanted the bridge to continue, and here we are, and we are seeing the Vande Bharat train running on the bridge.
Professor Madhavi, you are at Indian Institute of Science, Center for Sustainability, Civil Engineering Department, one of the finest institutions of the country. But as a child, you faced some very extreme poverty. How difficult was it to keep your focus, to become an engineer, join the Indian Institute of Science? Tell me a little bit about that very difficult days of your life.
You're right. I came from a very humble background, from a very small village, and things were not easy for me when I was growing up. Things were very difficult, and I was not even sure that I will study beyond 10th class, because my grandmother was ready with a groom, and then she said, this is it, you have to get married. But I was so passionate about studying further that when I begged, she said, if you come first in the school, you will study, otherwise you will stop. So that was not an option for me. So I had to work hard, and I have to continue my studies. And there were several moments that come to my mind when you say about my childhood. It was a very happy childhood because it's a kind of joint family and we were all happy with what we have. But when I look back, what I can give to my children and what I was going through at that point of time, it was not an easy situation for any girl. And education is something very, coming to IISc, I don't think I would have dreamt about it. My dream was I have to travel across the world, I have to get into an aeroplane, all these things. But coming to IISc happened over the time. I evolved as a person.
Can you tell me some instances which were very hard? I remember you had to sell your notebooks to find some kerosene for your mother.
Absolutely.
Can you live some of those? It's very hard for me to ask you to relive those moments, but you are a role model.
Also, it's inspirational for people, those who are listening, that, you're not just the hardships in the bridge, but in life, the massive obstacles that you've overcome to come where you are.
Yes.
Tell us, relive some of those.
Yeah, I mean, this is not difficult for me to go back to those days, because I feel very proud when I look at myself that I lived this life. I have come all the way from that place to this place, and today the world loves me. So it was not easy. Everything was difficult. Getting a small thing like, I can't explain things that I couldn't afford at that point of time. It was not an easy life. But there was support from my sister, my elder sister, who was working in bank. That happened after some time. But when I was a very young kid, the incident that you're talking about is now in front of my eyes. My mother was having a small chulha kind of a thing, where she uses this rice husk to cook food. And she needs some kerosene to light it up, and it was not there, and she doesn't absolutely have any money. So she was crying, and then I went and sold my old books, and I got 40 paise and got the kerosene. This is very much true. in my life, this incident. There are several such incidents where I couldn't afford a train ticket, where I couldn't afford to buy a book to read like any of my classmates. But things changed. My sister supported me. And then when I finished my B.Tech, all education was in government colleges, so I was supported through scholarships. Even in 10th and 12th, I got National Merit Scholarship. So that was a kind of support.
Is it correct that you left your B.Tech after first year because the peer pressure around you having come from a village, was so difficult to handle? Is that correct, ma'am?
Absolutely. I joined my B.Tech in 1987. I was 15 years old at that point of time. And then I studied in Telugu medium till my 12th class and going to engineering college, and I couldn't fit in that culture. And I couldn't even respond to people who wave at me or say hi to me, and I was in a culture shock. And I ran away, and I couldn't take that pressure, and I ran away. I thought this is not for me and I should go back. And I came back, I stayed back for 1 year at home in my village. During that 1 year, I was going through several struggles. In fact, I was growing these beans, and I was selling those beans to support the family. You won't believe. I was doing many things. I even went to work in cotton fields for a daily wage. My own relatives' fields, but it was like whoever harvests more cotton will have more money kind of a thing. And I was always first to get more money from that. So this was the kind of life I went through. At that point of time, I got this realization, who am I and what am I doing? I am meant for bigger things. And this is not the life I want. So if I have to come up in the life, engineering is the only solution, because here there is no life. So I went back with the determination that I will complete it and I will definitely realize my dreams one day. That was the real incident in my life.
What?
Isn't it just stringing your heart? I mean, what an inspiration. We keep talking about, all these stories, but somebody narrating it and has achieved the heights that you have. Salute to you, ma'am. Absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
Now, what next for Professor Madhavi?
Currently, at where I am standing right now, I feel my heart is full because I have received so much of love, so much of affection. In fact, I should tell you this story. Yesterday, I was traveling from Amritsar to Bangalore. In the train, there were 30 pilgrims going to Saudi Arabia who were coming from Srinagar, because the train comes from Srinagar. There's one man sitting next to me. We had a conversation, and then he asked me, where are you coming from and what do you do? I said civil engineering. He said he has huge respect for civil engineering because from 40 kilometers from his house, someone has built a huge bridge on which the train goes, and before that the region has no train. He said, I am really salute these people. I didn't tell him that I am part of that, but my heart was full. I was so glad that there is something for a common man, like he's taking a 90-year-old lady to Saudi Arabia for a pilgrimage, and he knows that how the bridge has transformed the region.
Now,
being a part of this.
Most people don't want to become civil engineers. They want to do computer science. They want to do information technology, software.
Yes.
And especially
so
women.
What message do you have for young Indians? Is there a future in hardcore engineering?
Absolutely. This is one of the things I've been preaching for past 6 months. I would have visited so many colleges. I mean, at least 50 colleges I visited and tried to motivate the young generation towards civil engineering, because today the infrastructure is growing at a pace that it is phenomenal. In our country, for example, we have all cities are getting metros. We have high-speed trains, and we have express corridor projects, ports. The way the infrastructure is developing, it is like you are going to have infinite opportunities in this field. But what is lacking is bright people are not attracted towards civil engineering. Like you said, they are more attracted towards data science and other streams for a reason, because they are getting more money. But I would like to tell you that I am the Indian of the Year today, science icon. I don't know if any civil engineer has ever got this award,
Not really.
but see, there is this excitement in this field. If you really are not a person 9 to 5 inside the office, you want adventures in life, be a part of nation building, this is the time you look at people like me.
I want to ask you, you're a legitimate celebrity now. I mean, when you were getting the award, there were so many people standing and clapping because they've seen an icon. How do you handle fame? The way you are speaking and your experience, your life has been so humble. You wanted to dedicate it to everybody who has worked with you. How are you handling this fame, that the spotlight on you?
It's not easy because the fame has got me enemies. Some of my own friends turned to be enemies because of no reason, because I'm getting all the fame for maybe something that I don't deserve so much. But to all of them, my humble submission is, I came from a background whereas there is nothing, I came from a background. And if you have to compare with me, you have to come from that background and then come up with the hardships and bear 2 children and balance your work and life, and then you compete with me. I am not the only person who is responsible for Chenab Railway Bridge, but I am definitely one person who came from a very humble background and rose to the level of Chenab and contributed. And I don't see any women engineer in that project so far in my life. Maybe that is the reason I got all the fame. It's not easy to handle the fame because sometimes even the family gets scared. What's happening and how things are turning suddenly, and will she be the same, or like how it's going to affect the life, right?
Yeah.
It's not easy.
But let me say this, like you were saying, you don't know whether you deserve it, ma'am. For every Indian and that gentleman that you met in the train, he would not possibly know the role that you played, but all of them absolutely in unison would believe, Pallav sir, that you absolutely deserve to be the Indian of the Year here on NDTV. You are an icon.
Absolutely, no doubt.
Thank you.
Barefoot to school, barefoot to college. At the Indian Institute of Science, the real big temple of India, and then make the tallest railway bridge of the world, help make that a tough area of geotechnical engineering in a seismic zone where very large earthquakes can happen. We salute you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. It's an honor. Thank you.
It's a pleasure.